Hi, Olivia Vanni here. I'm with George Foreman III at Everybody Fights in Financial District. Welcome, George.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be with you.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, this is your most recent location in Boston, but can you tell me a little bit about what you have going on in New York and things that are happening in the next coming years?
Yeah, the goal is more gyms, more places, but we have to grow slow and do it the right way. So the focus is to open one more gym in Boston. We have two right now. We open New York City July 15th at the corner of Madison and 41st. And we'd like to open two more locations there in New York, in and around Manhattan. And then on the horizon, maybe West Coast.
Nice.
We'd like to go with 3 regions and open 2 to 3 locations per region, and then go from there to make sure we can anchor our teams in different places, but still have 9 or 10 doors.
Right. So you mentioned a third Boston location is the hope. Where exactly would you have that? Do you have a timeline in mind?
Yeah, in Boston, I would love to go, either to Somerville. I think it's a great place. If I could find a nook and cranny in Back Bay, I'd love to take it. Because I'm trying to go places where our members at our current gyms are coming from. They may work in the area, but they live in Somerville. They live in Back Bay.
Obviously, the name of the gym, Everybody Fights, the fighting aspect in there. Could you explain to me what the difference is between, in your opinion, fighting and boxing?
The difference between fighting and boxing is that you can fight at any sport. You can fight at work, you can fight at home. It's a word we use way more often outside of the boxing ring than we use inside the boxing ring. And it's a frame of mind. It's a way you approach things when you want to win or just stay alive.
Right.
There are some great guys who are great boxers, but my dad would say, yeah, you couldn't fight. So fighting is what happens between your ears, behind your eyes, the way you approach things, that you're not going to give up, and you're going to find a way to make it work.
Right. And you mentioned your father, George Foreman. You were also a boxer just like him. What prompted you to follow in his footsteps and go into boxing?
I grew up in a boxing gym, literally grew up in a boxing gym, never put on gloves myself until I was 24 years old. I've gotten up to about 300 pounds because I was traveling. I was in the business world, working for my father for years, and I think I was 25. And long story short, I just wanted to lose some weight, and found out that I did have a passion for business, but my passion for boxing ran way deeper than that. And then, after being a professional boxer, I had 15, 16 fights, I realized I love training other people to do it even more. Partly because I wasn't that good at boxing, but I'm a pretty good trainer, I think. Awesome.
So you are number 3 for the Georges, but you grew up with a lot of other siblings with the same name.
That's correct.
How confusing was that?
It's actually not that confusing. Growing up in a household with nothing but Georges, we all had nicknames. When you're born, you're probably 5 or 6 years old before you realize your real name is George. When you go to school.
Right.
But when you go to school to visit your brothers, if you happen to be in school at the same time, in the airport, when someone yells George, we all turn around. So that actually does happen.
Big news in the boxing world. There's obviously Conor McGregor, the UFC fighter who's challenged Floyd Mayweather for fights going down August 26th. What do you think is going to happen?
I think this fight is going to be great for boxing, great for prize fighting. This has always been about entertainment. Many people don't know boxing was inspired by P.T. Barnum and Bailey Circus, and whatever gets the people in the seats to buy peanuts and buy soda pop is good for the sport. And do I think it's going to be competitive? No, I don't think it would be any more competitive than if Mayweather fought McGregor and had to wrestle him. He'd probably lose that, but who knows?
Yeah.
That's what makes it such an exciting sport, because 2 men have 2 hands and everybody's going to tune in. So I'm really excited about it. But most importantly, as a reminder to everybody that professional fighting is called prize fighting. Amateur fighting is about, who the man who beat the man.
Right.
This is prize fighting, and there's nothing wrong with the guys who go out there and get beat up and dedicate their lives to a sport to make a little money.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Cool. Great. Well, thank you very much for your time, George. We're looking
Glad
forward
to be with you.
to some more Everybody Fight locations popping up around the country. I'm Olivia Vanni with the Inside Track. Thank you for joining us for Track Talk.